Okay, so for some of us, it's been a couple days, a week or more since we've been on our mats. So today's class is going to be super, super gentle. It's more of a healing class for those of us that have had procedures. And again, dedicating this class to Marcia, who is going through some foot surgery this morning. And I think in some ways we're all healing. So hopefully we can all tap into that. As you come down onto your back, allow yourself to, number one, fully arrive. So the key to that, number one, is to find some comfort. Placing your hands on your belly, softening or closing down the eyes. Just begin to notice the breath here without making one change at all. With the hands resting right at the belly, can you just feel the breath as it flows through the body? Noticing the quality of the breath. Noticing the length of the breath. And as you begin to breathe in and out of your nose, can you deepen that inhale so that you can feel the hands rise under the belly? And as you exhale, you feel the belly soften under the palms. So bringing all of our attention here to the breath. Deepening that breath with a little bit of a constriction in the back of the throat. You might begin to hear a more audible breath. Like fogging up a mirror almost, and allow the mind to just listen to that audible breath. We take these first opening moments to just center, to quiet the chatter in the mind. In this position with the heart lifted, we begin to open up through the collarbones. We begin to soften the shoulder tips back down towards the mat to counter all the forward rounding that we do during the day. But at the same time, we begin to open up the muscles along the chest that become shortened as we round. So the more open we are in the chest, the more air, the more energy, the more prana we can take into the body. Filling the body up on the inhale. And then exhaling very, very slow. I'd like you to begin that body scan. From the feet, through the body to the crown of the head. From the crown of the head, through the body, back down to the feet. And just notice where you're beginning your practice today. Whether it is in a healing state or a new state of being back on your mat, honor exactly where you are at this moment. And let that be the foundation of this practice, so that as we move gently through postures to open up the full body, we do so in a very gentle, in a very mindful way. We let our breath and sensation be our teachers this morning. Take one more full body breath. Fill the lungs, fill the rib cage. And as you exhale, nice and slow, blink open the eyes. If the knees are wide, bring the hands to the outside of the thighs and draw the knees to center. If the feet are wide, heel toe the feet to the center of the mat. Remove the block if you have one underneath your head. Roll off to one side and come back down to rest on your back, keeping the block right by you. Good. So first, let's just take a full body stretch here, reaching the fingers away from the toes, maybe taking the arms from one corner of the mat to the other, just to feel into the upper body. And then releasing that, take a bend into the knees, bring the feet flat on your mat by the sit bones. So coming into bridge formation here. On your inhale, I'd like you to pick up the hips by pressing into the heels, lift the hips and take that block on whatever setting is good for you. The only thing I'm asking is that you don't go straight up and down. Take the flat setting or a little bit higher, but I'd like to see that your hip points are supported on both sides. Slip that block underneath the sacrum and allow the hips to come back down to rest onto the block. So you're not on the fleshy part of the bun and you're certainly not on the low back. There's this nice little shelf there at the sacrum and it should feel very comfortable. As you take a nice inhale, lift the legs, version of legs up the wall. But so your belly is always now going to be in, your shoulders are going to be resting nice and soft on the mat, and there's no pressure in the neck or the back of the head. Good. Legs up the wall being a very restorative posture. Take a nice deep breath in and just begin to bring movement here into the feet. So flex and point both feet. And again, as you flex, really flex, send that heel away from you so that you can begin to feel engagement in the back of the legs. And as you point, take a moment to really send those toes up towards the ceiling so that you feel the length you're creating in the top of the foot and the top of the ankle. And then circle the ankles, both feet in different directions. Testing a little brain activity here. Just opening up, warming up through the ankles here. Taking it another motion an opposite way. And then bring the feet back to a flex here. So we're going to move into a wide V shape. So as you flex the foot, you feel the engagement in the back of the legs. Drop the legs away from each other to the side. The foot is flexed. Pausing here, feel the weight of the legs and gravity open up the stretch through the inner thigh. Just pause here. There's no effort whatsoever here. Good. Press those heels away from you. And as you do, notice the sensation that you feel as those heels go out away and the toes point back down towards your face. On the inhale, let's bring the legs back together towards the ceiling. And we're just going to flow this. So on your inhale, point the feet, open the legs. As you exhale, take a flex into the feet, bring the legs back up together. Inhale, point and open. Exhale, flex and draw them back. We're going to take 5 more rounds just like this. Nice, full breaths, each movement with 1 breath. Again, you're moving with your breath, not mine. I have 2 more to do. You finish your own rotation. And as you finish, we'll meet with the legs back up the wall. Take your time. We're going to take this motion now, instead of a side to side motion, we're going to take it to a front to back motion. So on your inhale now, take that right leg over the head as you send that left leg long behind you. Pausing right here, so your legs are kind of in an L shape. As you draw a deep breath in, we're going to send those legs out to the side, back to that V, and we're just going to rotate now, left leg in front, right leg behind. Circle back out to the side, right leg in front, left leg behind. So again, we're just working right into our hip joint here, taking that femur bone in all directions through the hip socket. And we're taking this motion with breath. So one direction is a nice big inhale, followed by a nice exhale as you rotate back the opposite way. And working nice and slow, we'll take 5 more here. And I have 2 and 1. And wherever you are, finish your rotations and we'll meet back with legs up the wall. And as you arrive here, leave that right leg extended towards the ceiling and draw the left knee into the chest. Good. Very slowly now, we're going to take that right foot, flex the foot, send the heel away from you, and lower that right leg nice and slow, bringing the heel down towards the mat. Again, your hips are elevated, so the purpose of this right now is to get that nice stretch right through the right hip flexor. So the heel may not come down. I just want you to bring that leg as straight as you can towards the bottom of your mat, so you begin to feel the stretch right through that psoas muscle on the right side. Take a nice full deep breath. See if you can relax into this deep stretch. We sit all day, this muscle gets really shortened. So this is a really nice way to lengthen through that hip flexor. And then drawing in on that core on the inhale, I'd like you to raise that right leg back to the ceiling nice and slow. We're going to switch sides, so both legs extend up to the ceiling. Draw that right knee now into the chest. Left leg extends towards the ceiling. The belly is in. Very slowly as you flex that left foot, sending the heel away from you. Let that left leg slowly descend to the mat. Nice and slow. It might not make it all the way there. Just keep pressing that heel away till you can begin to feel the stretch now into the left hip flexor. Psoas muscle here on the left side. Softening the breath and see if you can just release and soften into this pose. Nice full deep breath. Let it go slow. And on your inhale, drawing in on that core, we're going to lift that left leg back towards the ceiling, flexing that foot, let the right leg extend back up. And then bring both feet down to the mat, back into your bridge position. Press into both feet, lift the hips, remove the block, set it right off to the side, and slowly roll down on your spine. Heel toe the feet to the edges of your mat and drop the knees over to the right, nice and slow. Maybe you begin to feel a little bit of a stretch through the left side body, particularly from that hip to the knee. Draw a big inhale, bring those knees back up to center and let them gently fall over now to the left. And then just take a couple rounds back and forth. And again, always allow yourself to stop in whatever place might feel good to pause, breathe, and release. And the next time the knees are over to one side, leave them there, roll over onto your side, and make your way up to seated. And take whatever seat is comfortable for you. Today, I am going to be sitting on my shins. So my heels are going to be together. Good. And if that's not comfortable for you, you can always take a block, put it underneath your seat. Takes a little bit of pressure off of the knees. Or you can just come to cross-seated. Whatever's good serves you today. We don't very often in practice because I know some of us have knee issues come to this position. So if it's not comfortable for you, make your way to whatever is. So sitting up nice and tall, we always say, remember the imaginary wall that's behind us, right? So as we sit against that imaginary wall, the shoulder tips roll back. The back of the head rests on that wall, and we find length from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Draw a deep, full deep breath in, and let it go nice and slow. Interlace the hands at the lap. Good, so we're going to take breath work here now, movement with breath. So as you inhale, draw the palms to the chest. And as you exhale, tuck the chin, press the palms away from you. Find space in the shoulder blades as you C-curve the spine. Draw a nice big inhale. We'll bring those arms overhead, palms to the ceiling. And as you exhale, we release, lower the arms, bring them behind you. Interlace, squeeze the shoulder blades and open the chest. Let's do that again. Inhale. Palms at center. Bring them up to the chest. Good. Press them away. Get nice and round in the back. Inhale, we draw the biceps by the ears, maybe even a little bit behind. And then we release nice and slow. Bring it behind you. Interlace, squeeze, and lift the chest. Last time. Interlace at the lap. Nice big inhale brings the palms to the chest. Send those palms away from you as you exhale, squeeze all the air out so that when you inhale, you bring those arms up. Big breath in. And then open up the arms, bring them behind you. Interlace, squeeze, and open up the chest. And keep those hands interlaced behind you now. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. Good, so as you squeeze the shoulder blades together here, finding all this room in the chest, bring the fists over to the left side body so that your right forearm is laying against the small of your back. Good. Notice that that left elbow is kind of stuck way out there. See if you can tuck it in. Good. So we're opening up through the chest and then just drop the chin to the chest. So shoulders are back because you're holding them back with this grip. And then very slowly roll that right ear towards the right shoulder. The chin will come up. And as you exhale, really slowly take the chin down towards the shoulder, your gaze down towards the mat. And again, keeping that ear close to the shoulder, rotate the chin back up. And as you exhale, very slowly, roll the chin back down. So just working nice and slow through the muscles of the neck, the tops of the shoulders. Rotating down and up with the chin. And again, you feel any points of tightness or tension, you pause there and just breathe into that space. So ending with the chin towards the shoulder. Allow the chin now to fall back to center. Let the head hang heavy. Release the fist from the side body. Send the fist behind you again, stretching the arms out nice and long. And then bring the fist over to the right side body. So the left forearm is across the back. Hug that right elbow in behind you. And then very slowly from here, allow the left ear to fall over towards the left shoulder. The chin rotates up. And as you exhale, nice and slow, rotate that chin down towards the shoulder, gaze down towards the mat. And just like that, just rotate chin up and chin down. And if there's a favorite spot to just pause and breathe. You never know how much tension we have into the shoulders and the neck until we finally release it. Finding a little bit more room and a little bit more space. And we'll all meet with the chin towards the shoulder, gaze down. Take a nice full deep breath in. And then just allow that chin to come back to center. Release the fist from the side body. Send those arms back long behind you again, squeezing in through the shoulder blades. And then slowly draw the head back up to neutral. Releasing the arms. Take a nice shrug of the shoulders one direction and the other. Good. Rolling over onto all fours. Coming into your tabletop. And if your knees are sensitive this morning, maybe a blanket would feel good underneath them. Good. As you ride in your tabletop, again, just check your foundation here so that the wrists are stacked directly over the shoulders. The knees are in line with the hip points. Gaze between your legs so that you can't see your feet. They're stacked directly behind the knees. Exhale all the air out. And as you inhale here, drop your belly, lift your heart, lift the gaze towards the top of your mat as you shine the heart forward. And as you exhale, tuck the chin, press into the palms, tuck the tailbone, and really round through the spine. Inhales, drops the belly, lifts the heart. Exhale, we round. So a couple more on your own, just like this. And again, I like to say exaggerate it so that you can feel from that tailbone, low back, mid back, upper back. You can feel the space you're creating in the spine. You can feel you're awakening not only the physical muscles along the spine, but also all of the energetic centers that we know reside along the spine. And then we'll bring that motion to stillness, finding our neutral tabletop. So in your neutral tabletop, take a moment to take your right hand to your belly. And as it's in the belly, I'd like you to feel hollowing out the belly. Draw that navel into the spine, feel the hollowness there, hold that, and bring your hand back down to the mat. So holding in the belly, I'd like you to extend the left leg long behind you. Keep the toes curled, the heel presses away from you. So the leg is long. We're gonna keep the shoulders right over the wrist and just begin to rock from the tippy toes through the toe joints, the ball of the foot, sending the heel back. So rocking forward and rocking back. So beginning to work through the foot, the arch, the Achilles. Each time that heel goes back, pause just for a moment so that you can feel the engagement of the calf. And then rock forward. And maybe too, as you walk forward, you notice the stretch that you're getting into the wrist. Good. The next time that heel is back, pause there. And then pivot that back foot so that the heel comes down to the mat. We're going to take that right shin and we're going to just kick it off the mat to the right. Right hand's going to come underneath the face. We're going to press into that palm and we're going to open up the body to the left. So we're coming into this modified side plank. My hand right now is resting right on my waist. Good, so pausing there. Now first, with your hand on your waist, take it to your hip and see if your hips are pushed out behind you. Bring the hips in line. Take a nice full deep breath. And then reach that left arm towards the ceiling, stacking through the shoulders. Good. So notice your breath here first. Good. If you're losing your breath, just bring your hands back down to the waist. Good. Inhale as you reach those fingers towards the ceiling. Spin the palm so it's facing forward and take that arm overhead, bicep by the ear. So nice full body stretch here. Press into that left heel, reach through those left fingers, expand through the side body. Nice full deep breath. Inhale, let's bring that left arm back towards the ceiling. And let's take a half bind by bringing the back of the hand to the small of the back. Press the back of the hand into the back and spin the shoulder tip back, heart forward. Full deep breath. Still planting in that left heel. Beautiful. One more round of breath. And then extend that left arm back up to the ceiling. Circle it back down to the mat. Draw the knee in, coming back to your neutral table. Flow a cat and a cow. Nice and slow, just to reset the spine. And we'll take it over to the right side now. So as you come back to your neutral table again, I like to bring my hand to my belly. I like to feel that connection where I can feel the hollowness, my navel to the spine. Good. Send that left foot behind you nice and long. Press that heel away from you, engage the calf, engage the Achilles, and then begin to roll from the tippy toes through the foot joint, the ball of the foot, heel extends. So moving really slow so that you can feel how each joint in the foot, arch, ankle, all begin to open up here. The next time that heel is back, press the heel away, pause there. Spin that right heel down to the mat. Swivel that left shin off the mat to the left. Left hand's going to plant right underneath the face. You're going to press into that palm and you're going to open up the body to the right, hand coming to the waist. So as the hand comes to the waist, use that hand to the back of the hip. Press the hips so that everything's in one nice straight line. Feel free to leave the hand on the waist for more centering or stability, or maybe you reach that right arm towards the ceiling, reaching through those fingers, stacking through the shoulders, really press into that left palm and really press into the heel. I'm sorry, the right palm and the right heel. Reach, reach, reach. And then turn that upper hand, the palm facing towards the top of your mat, and drop the arm so the bicep comes by the ear, reaching the fingertips away from the heel. Nice full deep breath now into this side of the body. Let it go nice and slow. One more round. And then bring that arm back up overhead, reach through those fingers. And let's take that half bind. So right hand comes behind the back of the hand presses into the small of the back. Really allow that shoulder tip to fall back, the heart to shine forward, and enjoy 2 full rounds of breath here. Releasing the bind nice and slow, arm re-extends up, reach those fingers away, and then circle that arm back down towards the mat. Coming back into your tabletop. Flow a cat and a cow. And then bring the big toe mounds together at the back of your mat. Let the knees go wide. Sink the hips towards the heels, the belly towards the thighs, and the head towards the mat or a block so that your third eye, your forehead is resting on something. So beginning to feel the length from the tailbone through the entire spine here. Maybe you bring your arms alongside the body, palms up, so that you can really allow those shoulders to melt down towards the mat, to relax after your modified plank pose. Everything here is soft, no wasted energy. Maybe you take a moment to rock along that third eye, nice and gentle along the forehead. I always like to bring my hands behind my back, stacking my palms up and allowing my elbows to droop down towards the mat, noticing a little bit more intensive stretch through the shoulders. But again, everything is heavy. Big inhale in. And a nice slow exhale out. And very gently, put your palms back underneath the shoulders. Press into the palms, lifting the body up. Bring the knees together here. Tuck the toes under, and yeah, we're gonna just do intensive toe pose here just for a couple breaths. So coming to keep all the toes curled under and the hips stay near the heels. And again, if that is too intense for you this morning, I invite you to grab a block, okay, to put the block between maybe the back of the ankles and the bun, or just bring yourself up a little bit off of the heels. But again, we're not going to be here long. See if you can relax into it. Maybe bring your hands to heart center. Taking a moment just to draw a nice deep breath. And let it go slow. And then bring your hands, you need to come off your toes. You can always come off your toes, you know that. Bring your palms together out in front of you just a little bit. We're just going to release through the wrist before we begin to flow here. So just begin to circle the prayer. So the back of the hands come together. Yeah, that's it. I can see. Good, good. So just working through the wrists. And you can go as fast or as slow as feels good. And take it the opposite way. And this takes all the attention off of the toes, doesn't it? Yeah, right. But take a couple more. And then just release it out a little bit. Good. Bring the hands to the mat. If you're on your toes, untuck your toes. Take a couple taps out. We'll take a nice little counter pose here. Flatten the feet. Bring the hips back down to the heels. Resting here. Bring the hands behind you. Good. So you're not only going to open up the chest here, gaze towards the ceiling, but maybe you can lift the knees. So the weight is on the top of the feet, the top of the ankles here, and we're getting a nice little counter stretch to that toe pose. Good. And then bring it slowly back down. Hands outside of the knees, tuck the toes under, press into the hands, lift the knees up. So we're in a modified squat here. Enjoy the length you'll feel in the calves if you drop those heels a little bit closer to the mat. Pausing right here. And as you take a nice full deep breath in, exhale, press into the hands, lift the hips, find yourself in a forward fold at the back of the mat. Good, so we're just coming into these forward folds. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to. The emphasis here now is getting that natural traction from the tailbone through the spine, through the crown of the head. Interlace your hands and bring them to behind the skull, that bony part of the skull, the occiput, and just allow the elbows to naturally hang. No holding up the head, no pulling on the neck. We just want to find a little extra room here, right to the neck. Take a nice full deep breath here. Everything's heavy here. One more round. And then drop the hands down to the mat. Bend the knees as much as you need to, press into the feet, and slowly round your way up to stand. And as you arrive in standing at the back of your mat, allow the shoulders to draw up by the ears and roll them down the back. Allow the arms to hang naturally, the palms facing forward. And just pause here. Nice full deep breath. On your inhale, let's reach those arms out and up. Good. Interlace the hands, press the palms towards the ceiling. Good, so we're not drawing those shoulders up to the ears, but we're trying to relax the shoulder blades down the back. Big breath in. And as you exhale, let's take a side bend over to the right, nice and gentle. Good, so we're gonna press into that left heel. We're gonna open up and send that left elbow behind the ear, getting a nice side stretch here. And as you draw your next in-breath, come back to center. And as you exhale, take it the opposite way. Again, just watch that you're not rounding in with the chest. See if you can get that elbow back behind you. Inhale, back to center. Let's take it to the right once more. And release the clasp and clasp your elbows here. So again, just letting the weight of the arms draw you a little deeper into your side stretch. Breathe into the left rib cage. Exhale, nice and slow. Inhale, comes back to center. Extend the arms, interlace, press up, and then take it to the left. And then we'll release that clasp and reach for elbows here. A little bit deeper into our stretch. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly back to center. Allow the arms to come out to the side and back down. Good. We're going to take a nice slow forward fold, walking ourselves out to a downward facing dog. So however you like to fold, just make sure it's at the hip crease. Holding with a straight back or a round back, whatever serves you this morning. Slowly, 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 let the head drift down toward the mat. Walking the hands forward. Good, so you're finding yourself in your upside down V, downward dog. So as we come into our down dog is a nice stretch from the hip points through the fingers. So let's do the back first. Send those hips nice and high. You can keep a bend in the knees. Press those hands away from you like you're going to try to slide them up towards the top of your mat, getting the weight out of the wrist. Brings the chest closer to the thighs. Allow the head to just naturally hang. And feel the length you've created now in the back spine area. Keeping all of that length, maybe you drop one heel towards the mat. Maybe you bend that leg and drop the other heel towards the mat. And just alternate back and forth now, working from the hips down to the heels. It's not necessary that the legs be straight, and it's certainly not necessary that both heels hit the ground. Just feel the movement you're creating while keeping those hips high, breath nice and fluid. Waking up the back of the legs now. Good. Bringing that movement to stillness as you come up high on your toes. Look towards your thumbs here. Bend your knees and hop or step or walk to the top of the mat. So the feet come towards the hands, again, hanging in a forward fold. Inhale, we're going to find a half lift so the hands can come to the shins, the hands can come to blocks. What I want you to do is form that L shape so that the legs are straight, the spine is straight from the tailbone all the way through the crown of the head. The gaze is straight down on your mat. And then I want you to exhale, fold in, allow the head to hang. Again, feeling length in the spine. Inhale, straighten everything back to your half lift. Belly is in. And exhale, we fold. Last time, take that half lift, get nice and long, shift some weight into the balls of the feet. Notice how that changes the stretch where the hamstring connects to the hip. Take a nice full deep breath here. And then release the breath and fold once more. Press into the feet, bend the knees, slowly roll your way back up to stand. Good. Shoulders again, come up towards the ears, and then release those shoulders down the mat or down the back. Arms extend beside you, palms out. Take a moment here to just close down the eyes. Lift all 10 toes. And without looking, spread them wide and drop them back down to your mat. Begin to shift the weight from the balls of the feet to the heels. So again, using the other sensors that we have in our body to really feel into the foundation we're creating here on our mat. Maybe you shift side to side. And then find that true center for yourself, pausing there. And we're going to begin to flow with 3 half sun salutations. So on your inhale, blinking your eyes open, reach those arms out and up. Maybe you gaze up to see the prayer above you and take that prayer through heart as you forward fold. Let everything go, bow over the legs. Inhale finds that half lift again, get nice and long from the tailbone through the crown of the head. And exhale, fold in. See if you can go a little deeper here. Press into the feet, bend into the knees, slide those arms out and up. Maybe you gaze up, hands find prayer. Maybe a standing back bend. And hands come to heart. Twice more. Inhale, reach. And exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, chest lifts out. Exhale, we fold deeper. Pressing into the feet, reaching the arms out and up, reach. And hands come back to heart. Last one on your own here, inhale. And as you exhale, you take it now. And we'll all meet in our prayer Tadasana at the top of our mat. We're going to move into a high-low lunge series. So again, if you would like, make sure you have your blocks at the top of the mat. On your next inhale, reaching those arms way up overhead, finding all that length we've created. Take a bow, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands to the mat or to blocks. Big step back with that right leg. Coming into a runner's lunge first. We're going to take this first one slow. Good, so the heel presses away. The left knee, left ankle are in alignment. drop the knee. Good. Let's bring the hands either to high blocks or to your thigh. Press the thigh away, get nice and long in the spine, and allow the hips to sink so that, again, you're getting a nice stretch into the right psoas quad. Arms extend up to the ceiling. Circle those arms back around and down to the floor. Pick up the back knee, step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. On your next inhale, plant your hands, blocks to the mat, step it back, left foot. Coming into a runner's lunge first, check your foundation. Left heel back, right knee ankle aligned. Draw a deep breath in, drop the knee. Hands to blocks or to the thigh, press the thigh away, get nice and tall in the spine. Staying here or reach those arms out and up. Anjaneyasana. Good, circle those arms back down, frame the foot, lift that back knee, step it forward, forward fold. Inhale to a lift. Exhale to a fold. Press into the feet, bend the knees, draw the arms out and up, and hands find prayer. I'm going to add on here. Inhale, reach the arms, and exhale, bow forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we fold. Hands plant, right knee steps back. Keep those toes tucked, drop the knee, reach the arms up. Circle those arms back down to frame the front foot. Now pay attention, we're going to change just a little bit. Lift the back knee, straighten the back leg. Pyramid pose, keep the back heel up high. Fold over that left leg. Nice deep breath. Bend into that left knee so you're coming back to a runner's lunge. Bring the hands to the thighs, nice and slow. Making our way to high crescent. Inhale, hands can stay on the thigh or reach the arms up. Nice, easy breath. Circle those arms down and around, frame the front foot, step it up, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, and we fold. Plant the hands, block or mat, big step back, left foot, runner's lunge first. Drop the knee, hands to thighs, reach the arms up. Nice big full inhale. Exhale, circle those arms back down, frame the foot first, lift the back knee, come back to your runner's lunge, and then straighten that front leg, pyramid fold, pose, fold over the thigh. Nice full breath. Good. Then back into that front knee, runner's lunge. Hand comes to the thighs. Bring yourself up first, nice and slow. And then lift the arms. High crescent. Nice full deep breath. Circle the arms back down, frame that front foot, step it forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, we fold. Press into the feet, bend the knees, roll your way back up to stand, reach those arms out and up. Hands find prayer. Pause here. Taking a big step back to the side of your mat. So we're facing the long side of the mat. Pigeon toe the feet. Bring the hands to the waist. Squeeze those elbows back, lift the heart space. And keeping a slight bend into the knee, take it to a half fold here. So the spine is nice and long, The crown of the head is forward. And then drop the hands right underneath the shoulders and fold. Nice, easy breathing. And then begin to walk the hands out in front of you. Keep those hips directly where they are over the legs. Good. So you're beginning to create some length from the hip points through the ribs all the way down to the fingers. Just like if someone was taking your hips backwards and pulling your hands forward, find all the length there. Breathe into that. Enjoy one more round of breath here, really lifting the tailbone up high. And then walk those hands back underneath the face. Good. Heel toe the feet in a little bit more than hip distance apart, but this time the heels are in, the toes point out, and then take a seat. So coming into any kind of a squat position that is good for you this morning. So if you can come into Malasana, find your Malasana. If you want to use a block under the seat, or if you want to just come down and rest the forearms on the thighs, good, and sink the tailbone down and keep the spine nice. Good, Joyce. Keep the spine nice and long and notice your breath. Nice full deep breath. Good. If you're in Malasana with me, elbows inside the knees, take a moment to just rock back and forth. You've opened up your hips here, so just enjoy some space. And then wherever you are in your squat, we're going to make our way down to our seat. So no one can see how you're going to get there. So just bring yourself down. Good. To the seat. Plant both of your feet flat on the mat. Knees are bent. Bring the hands right behind the knee crease. Draw the chest forward as you use the leverage of the hands underneath the arms. To again, extend that chest. Maybe you gaze towards the ceiling if it feels good on your neck. And then very slowly, we're going to drop that chin to the chest, and we're going to begin to C-curve the spine, and we're going to roll down onto our backs. And as we do, we're going to bring the knees into the chest. And so as you give them a nice squeeze, see if you can lower that tailbone down towards the mat. So you get this nice long impression of your spine on the mat. And then take a gentle rock side to side. Really nice massage for the lumbar. A nice massage for the kidneys. A little love for our adrenal glands. And then reaching for the outside of your feet or your ankles, coming into happy baby. And if feet and ankles aren't accessible to you this morning, just bring your forearms behind your knees. Draw the knees out towards the side body, down towards the mat. Just getting this nice opening through the glutes to the hips. This is also a squat pose. So if you find yourself frustrated that you can't seem to get into full Malasana, this is the squat pose that's the same beneficial opening through the hips. Great digestive pose as well. So maybe even rocking here might feel good. Extending one leg out to the side, leading with the heel, get a nice stretch through that leg. Bringing that leg back in, taking it to the other side, stretching that heel away from you. Bringing it back in, and maybe both legs go out into a wide V like we did at the beginning of our practice. Holding here, not only a stretch through the inner thighs and the back of the legs, but also through the shoulders and the arms. And then draw the soles of the feet back together. So a floating cobbler, if you would, soles of the feet together overhead. Draw those heels down towards the groin. The knees go wide. Pausing here. And then very slowly release the feet to the mat to rest on the blade edge of the foot. If you're using a sandbag this morning, a nice place now to bring the sandbag again on the low belly area. Allow the knees just to fall naturally open to the side. Again, bring your hands to the body. Allow the shoulders to soften, the face to soften. Take a moment to just close down the eyes and notice your breath. Taking just a little bit of a breathing exercise here. I'd like you to try to inhale for 3 and exhale for the count of 6. I'd like to deepen our exhales here. So releasing all the air on an exhale. Inhale for a count of 3. Pause at the top. And as you exhale, count to 6 to let it go. Inhale to the count of 3. And pause. Exhale to the count of 6. Continue to breathe for the next minute, just like that. And notice what's happening in the body as you do so. Can you feel it softening? This is a breath we know we use in deep sleep and meditation. It's a very healing breath. In for 3. Pause. Out for 6. Gently release the hands from the body, bring them outside of the thighs. Press the knees together and draw the knees into the chest. Take a moment here just for a nice gentle twist before we find our final resting pose. Extend the arms out to a T and drop the knees over to the left. And again, shoulders nice and soft, resting on the mat. If the knees don't come all the way over, grab that bolster or the block to just slide underneath. Nothing to hold up here. Full body release. Engaging the core, draw the knees back to center. And as you exhale, allow them now to fall over to the right. Again, support the back of the knees if you need to, but both shoulders remain flat on the mat. Breathe into the rib basket here and soften the shoulders and the face. Inhaling, draw the knees back up, squeeze them in. And then release the legs long on your mat. So the feet come out to the corners of the mat, let the feet fall open naturally. Pick up the shoulders or the chest just a little bit and squeeze the shoulder blades underneath as you release the arms out to the side, palms up. Pick up the head, tuck the chin in just a bit so you find some length in the back of the neck. Close down the eyes now. And begin to let the body be really heavy as you come back to your own very natural breathing. Releasing any tension that you might be holding through the ankles, trying to hold the feet up. Releasing the calves and the thighs, clenching the hips. Hips are heavy. Feel the spine as you travel up to your shoulders and allow those shoulders to just melt back into the mat. Feel the back of the hands resting lightly on the mat. And back up through the arms again. Notice the shoulders. Release through the shoulders, release through the neck, release through the jaw. Release through the forehead. A nice full deep breath in here. And as you let it go, nice and slow, find that healing stillness. Shavasana. Begin now to bring a conscious breath back into the body by inhaling deeply through the nose, filling up the chest, the rib cage, the belly. Exhale nice and slow. Maybe beginning to find some motion in your fingers and your toes, your wrist and your ankles. Maybe dropping the head over towards the right, very slowly rotating through the neck. And back up through center, very slowly over to the left. Inhaling back through center. Let's take that full body stretch. Reach the fingers away from the toes. Find that long line of energy through the front of the body. And then as you exhale, bend into the knees and roll over onto one side, resting the head and the biceps. So softening through the chest here, softening through the belly. Forming this nice little fetal position as we close the practice. And then we'll place our hand on the mat, press ourselves up to a seated position. Try to keep your gaze still inward, or maybe the eyes closed. And as you arrive in whatever comfortable seat serves you today, you can bring the hands to the thighs, palms down. Press into the thighs so that you can open up as you inhale and find all the space across the heart center. And as you exhale, left hand comes to the heart space, feeling the warmth that is always there. The right hand, palm comes right on top. And bow your chin to your chest. Repeating silently with me. May I be well in body, mind, and spirit. May I be at peace in my internal and external worlds. May I feel supported, connected, and loved. And may I always feel vibrant. Against the heart. And gratitude for the inner wisdom that brought you to your mat. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.